brings me to that question that so many people have. Well, how do I know? How do I know if my child just uses screens a lot versus is full-blown addicted to screens? What do you do to suss that out?
Well, that goes back to what's the definition of addiction? And the definition of addiction is when you can't stop doing something despite the problems it's causing in your life. So addiction is actually not defined, despite what I just said, by how many hours you're using a screen for, or how much how intense what you're doing is. It's defined by the consequences. It's and then once you're aware of those consequences, not being able to stop. When you think about that definition, addiction is really a continuum. I know we like to think of things very binary, black and white, like you're either addicted or you're not addicted, but really if you're defining it by how bad the consequences are of what you're doing, how problematic the behaviors you see are, then it really is a continuum, because you can have your whole life falling apart, like some of the cases that come in to see me, dropping out of school, failing all your classes, being aggressive towards your parents, maybe being suicidal, having severe social anxiety, all these problems that can come with excessive screen use. The more severe end of the problems would make you at the higher end of the addiction spectrum. But then you could just have the matter of failing to turn in a few assignments because you got carried away a few nights, or maybe it's negatively affecting some of your friendships. Maybe you just have a big fear of missing out that can be distracting to you when you're trying to do your studying. So when we think of addiction that way, I think parents should look for, how their kids are doing now. During this lockdown, I really think that because of the lack of structure, that like Michael was saying, kids are a lot more vulnerable. So I think what parents should be looking for now, especially, is, how are their kids doing now overall compared to how they were when there was more structure in their life before the pandemic. But they should also look for those types of problems, like, how are they doing emotionally? How are they accepting the limits that you're setting on screens? Is there any aggression? Are they socially isolated, or are they maintaining their friendships? Those are really sort of the red flags that parents should look for.